Amelia Sterling was 68 years old, though she could have easily passed for someone much younger. Her face was graceful and serene, with piercing blue eyes that carried a lifetime of wisdom and sorrow. Amelia had separated from her husband, Gregory, decades ago. Together, they had two daughters, Isabel and Clara. Isabel, the elder, had tragically died when Clara was just 12 years old. Now, at 36, Clara worked as an architect in a bustling city, but she still lived with her mother at Everdale Manor, an elegant estate nestled in the countryside. Amelia's nephew Victor also resided at the manor. Victor's father, Gregory's younger brother, had passed away 5 years prior, leaving Victor orphaned and penniless. Amelia had taken him in, offering him a home and guidance. Victor, a reserved man in his early 30s, spent much of his time restoring old paintings in the manor's private gallery. Though kind-hearted, he carried a quiet longing for Clara, a feeling he had never dared to voice. Everdale Manor was a place of peace and routine. Each morning, Clara commuted to the city for work. Amelia spent her days tending to her vast garden or reclining in the sun-dappled courtyard. Victor often assisted her, though his evenings were dedicated to his work in the gallery. The three shared dinners by candlelight, where laughter and light-hearted stories filled the air. Afterward, they would gather in the drawing room, its walls lined with antique bookshelves and timeless artifacts. But as the clock struck 9, Clara would excuse herself, leaving Victor and Amelia to continue their quiet conversations. Victor's quarters were in a small cottage on the estate, separated from the main house by a cobblestone path and surrounded by ivy. Clara often found solace in the garden, wandering among the roses and lilies late into the evening. Sometimes she paused by the pond, gazing at her reflection under the moonlight, her thoughts drifting to Victor. Despite her affection for him, she could not bring herself to act on it, fearing Amelia's disapproval and Victor's apparent indifference. One warm summer afternoon, Clara decided to join Amelia in the courtyard. Amelia lay on a cushioned chaise lounge beneath a parasol, the sunlight catching the golden threads in her hair. Clara spread a blanket on the grass and closed her eyes, basking in the warmth. As the gentle hum of bees filled the air, Clara overheard a faint voice. It was soft and melodic, yet unsettling. "No, Isabel, darling, it wasn't my fault," the voice whispered. "I warned you about Arthur. He was never good enough for you." Clara's eyes snapped open. She sat up, scanning the courtyard. There was no one but Amelia, who appeared to be napping. The voice came again, clearer this time. "You were too trusting, my dear. I only did what was necessary." Clara's heart raced. She realized the voice belonged to her mother, yet Amelia's lips were still. The sound seemed to emanate from the rain spout near the house. Curiosity and unease gripped Clara. She crept closer to the spout, peering into its dark opening. "You would have been miserable with him," Amelia's voice continued, "but now you're gone, and I'm left with regrets." A chill ran down Clara's spine. Was Amelia confessing to something? Had she interfered in Isabel's life in a way that led to her death? Clara stepped back, her mind spinning with questions. That evening, Clara's thoughts were restless. During dinner, she observed her mother closely. Amelia was as poised as ever, her laughter light and melodic. But Clara couldn't shake the memory of the strange whispers. As the days passed, Clara continued to listen at the rain spout whenever Amelia rested in the courtyard. Each time, she overheard fragments of her mother's musings. Amelia spoke of secrets, regrets, and choices she had made to protect her family. The pieces began to form a troubling picture. Amelia had meddled in Isabel's relationship with a man named Arthur, and it seemed this interference had tragic consequences. One evening, as the sky darkened and a cool breeze swept through the garden, Clara confided in Victor. They sat on a bench by the pond, the water's surface rippling under the moonlight. "Victor," Clara began, her voice trembling, "do you ever feel like there's something hidden about my mother?" Victor hesitated, then nodded. "She's always been enigmatic. Why do you ask?" Clara told him about the whispers, about what she had overheard. Victor's expression darkened as he listened. "If this is true," he said, "it explains so much. Your mother's protectiveness, her insistence on keeping us close. But we need to be sure before drawing conclusions." The following day, Clara and Victor devised a plan. They would place a small recording device near the rain spout to capture Amelia's words. When they played the recording that evening, the truth was undeniable. Amelia's voice revealed her guilt over manipulating Isabel's choices, leading to a series of events that culminated in her tragic death. Confronting Amelia was a difficult decision, but Clara knew it was necessary. That night, as the three of them sat in the drawing room, Clara and Victor shared the recording. Amelia's face paled as the whispers played back. Her poised demeanor cracked, and tears filled her eyes. "I only wanted to protect her," Amelia said, her voice breaking. "I thought I knew what was best." Clara's heart ached, but she stood firm. "Secrets have consequences, Mother. They've haunted this family long enough." In the days that followed, the atmosphere at Everdale Manor shifted. Amelia retreated to her room, grappling with her guilt. Clara and Victor grew closer, their shared experience forging a bond stronger than ever. Together, they vowed to break free from the shadows of the past and build a future filled with openness and hope. Everdale Manor remained, its walls bearing witness to generations of joy and sorrow. But within its halls, a new chapter was beginning, one of healing, forgiveness, and love.